chapter 2, verse 14, for the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea.
The earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the earth is filled with the sea. Once again, showing you that there's going to come a point in time where the whole earth is going to be filled with the knowledge of the Most High. And how is that going to happen? It's going to happen through the Most High servants. That's why he set Israel up to be his priesthood, man, on this earth. To accomplish that goal right there. To accomplish that, man. Just like he set up YAHAWASHI to come down and to bring Israel a better covenant by dying on the cross, by being crucified on the cross, man. The Most High has his servants to do his will, just like he has the angels to come down and do certain things that he wants them to do on the earth, man. Well, Israel is no more than a servant. That's what's so special about them. They're just a servant of the Most High. Allah YAHAWASHI, that he gave us that beautiful position to be his servant. It ain't because we're stronger than everybody, or we could jump higher, or we just better than everybody. The Most High just loved our forefathers, and he chose us to be his servant, and that's what makes us so beautiful.
And that's why the Lord told us to honor our oaths, man, to speak with integrity, because the Lord had integrity, man. As many times as Jake went on, the Lord still, because he made a promise, he's a man of his, he's not a man that he should lie. The Lord is going to honor that oath by giving us a better covenant that we may obtain the oath that he gave our fathers, man. Right. Which is why we have to be made perfect in the first place, because we wouldn't be able to reign forevermore if we kept going off.
Yep. Isaiah 31:30, Jeremiah 31 through 34. 31 through 34.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
See, the old covenant, we could get that in Hebrews chapter 8 in a second. But we'll break that down in a second. Go ahead and read.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord.
They go to husband. That's why when we go off to worship other gods, it's counted as adultery, spiritual adultery. Go ahead.
Verse 33, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Yasharallah. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people.
Basically, that old covenant, the Most High gonna go in and squirt that off, and then we're gonna have this new covenant where the contract is that he's gonna be our God, we're gonna be his people, we're gonna be his holy priesthood, he's gonna write the laws in us, so basically he's gonna reprogram us, and we're gonna be perfect. That's the only way we can teach these nations, is us being perfect ourselves, so we can go ahead and teach them. That's why he's giving us this new covenant. Go ahead.
And that's the only way that we can obtain the oath that he swore to our fathers.
Yep.
Verse 34, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more.
That's where YAHAWASHI came for.
That's what
Go to Hebrews 8 and like 9 or 8. Okay, break it down a little bit more. So that's what he promised our forefathers. And this is part of what Luke chapter 1 was talking about, where he was saying that the Most High was doing what he promised, what he spoke about to our forefathers, to the prophets. But
Hebrews chapter 8, verse 7, for if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days cometh, come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Right, now the fault was with us.
Right.
With that old covenant, because you go to we couldn't keep that old covenant because we weren't perfect, man. And we failed at it. We still got the wicked flesh, the wicked heart in us. So the Most High had to make another covenant with us, a better covenant, which Yahawashi came down to obtain for us. Go ahead.
Verse 9, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
Right, we're going to be perfect. Keep going.
And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest, for I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and for their sin and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more.
Psalms 86, 8 through 9. Right, and that's how we're gonna be able to teach these laws, man, to the other nations. We're gonna be perfect. We just gonna know them. We're gonna be born knowing the laws and knowing all the knowledge of the Most High. Nobody gonna have to teach us these things.
Like if you network computers, if you network them right, you send from that master computer, and all the networking computers already understand. That's gonna be the nation of Yasharahla, because we're all meant to be kings, and or I should say, we're all meant to be priests to the Lord, man, to the nations, man. Because in that day, being righteous is gonna be an end thing. Just like being wicked is the trend of this world. Being righteous is going to be the trend of the next world.
You guys want to
and the elect are going to be automatically righteous. So just like they want to be like Jake in this world, they're going to want to be more so like Jake in the next world, man. And they're going to try to learn our laws to be as close to us as possible.
What's it so?
You're talking about language. $5 drink. $3 shot.
You read all the way to 9? Psalms 86, 8 through 9. 8 to 9.
Psalms 86, verse 8. Among the gods there is none like unto thee, O Lord, neither are there any works like unto thy works. All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Lord, and shall glorify thy name. For thou art...
Read that again, my fault.
Psalms chapter 86, verse 9. All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Lord.
There you go. They're going to have to come and worship before the Most High, but he's going to need a priesthood to make them do that. Right. And that priesthood is Israel. Go ahead.
O Lord, Psalms 86 and 9 again. All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Lord, and shall glorify thy name. For thou art great and doest wondrous things. Thou art the Most High alone. That's verse 10.
That's verse 10? That's it. Revelations 21 and 1 through 5. That's the last two verses.
Revelations chapter 21, verse 5.
1 through 5.
Verse 1, Revelations 21 and 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
The first rulership, all of this, the dominion these heathens have, is going to be destroyed, done away with. Go ahead.
And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High of heaven. Why is it the city coming down? Because that's the people. Coming down out the chariots. Look low, you don't have to look low here or low there, for the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom is within. Yeah, the kingdom is within Israel. Go ahead. Say for the kingdom suffereth violence, man. Right. Go ahead. Revelation chapter 21, verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
Read that one more time. Start back at 3.
Revelation chapter 21 verse 3. And I heard...
Say all things are new. All things are new. What verse is that?
It's the next, verse 5.
Alright, cool. 3. Let's start at 3.
Revelation chapter 21 verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them.
That's that new covenant that we just read about. Go ahead.
And the Most High shall be, and the Most High and God himself shall be with them, and be their power, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
Now I want you to notice what it's saying. It's saying that all tears going to be wiped away from our eyes. Go ahead.
And there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
The former things are passed away. Remember in other scriptures said when the heathens were going to come before us, when they were going the laws were going to go forth out of Zion, that they weren't going to learn war anymore. So it's telling you, Revelation 21, that all things are going to be new. The question is, why is all things going to be new? Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6 through 15. Why is all things going to be new? Because the children of Israel, the servants of the Most High, the holy priesthood is going to be set up, they're going to be perfect, and they're going to be keeping the laws, and the laws are going to go forth out of Zion, which is going to make it everything new to where it's going to be no more pain, no more crying, and all that stuff like that. No more wars.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. But thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power.
Let's set apart people, go ahead.
The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right.
The Lord did not set his love upon you.
Now let me give you an example. Amongst Israel, you had all the tribes. The Most High had one portion in Israel, which was Levi, which was the priesthood. That was the Most High's inheritance among the children of Israel. Israel is an inheritance to the Most High, and then the tribe of Levi is an inheritance to the Most High. Showing you the relation of Levi being the priesthood, and then Israel being the nation of priests. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord thy power, he is the Most High, the faithful power, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations.
Right.
And repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them.
Right.
He will not be slack to him that hateth him, he will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to do them.
Right? Keep the statutes, judgments, and commandments this day. Go ahead.
Wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments,
if you listen to these judgments, go ahead.
And keep and do them,
right,
that the Lord thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto thy fathers.
Right.
And he will love thee and bless thee and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb and the fruit of thy land, thy corn, thy wine, thine oil, the increase of thine kind, and the flocks of thy sheep in the land which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee.
Right. Is that it?
Verse 14.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you or among your cattle. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness.
You see what Revelations is talking? You see how Revelations is talking? Because, right, call out YAHAWASHI. Because when we keep the laws, then it's not going to be no more pain, no barren women, no sickness, none of that shit. And that's why the nations are going to be blessed through the children of Israel, the servants of the Most High. But keep going.
Oh man. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 14. Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you or among your cattle. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay upon them all, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy power shall deliver thee. Thine eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their powers, their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee.
Where you at?
That's verse 16.
That's it. So that's it. So now you see why Israel is important. And now you see when the heathens are going to worship the Most High. And what role Israel plays in all of this, man. All right, go ahead.
Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that the Most High is with you.
That's right. Where you at? Zechariah 8?
8 and 23.
That's right. And that's it. That's it, man. The Most High, the children of Israel are special because they're the servants of the Most High. That's it. The Most High chose our nation because he loved our forefathers. And then he stayed with us because he promised our forefathers that he would have mercy on us and that we would be his priesthood. He promised that to Jacob. All right?
That's why the Lord said it's his strange work, man, because from Genesis to Revelations, what you see is the Lord keeping his word. And though it's a slow cooking process, to us, ultimately it's about the Lord keeping his oath that he made to our forefathers, man, because Abraham didn't inherit the blessing in full when he was alive, man. But he had faith on YAHAWASHI, and that's what we're going to be, that's why Paul talked about how the promise overpasses the law. Because before we had the law, we had the promise. The law was the way to keep, for us to continue to keep the promise. And because we're incorruptible, the Lord had to make the laws written in our heart that we may obtain the inheritance that was given to us through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's all about the Lord keeping his word, man.
Yeah, so with that,
I can harp on that too, what the brother just said. That was a good point about the Most High keeping his word. When you read the scriptures, when you think of the other nations, they should actually want us to,
yeah.
Because, well, this is the reason. If it wasn't like that, that would make the Most High, I'm looking from their perspective, that would make that God a liar.
Right.
Yeah.
So that God has to do that because this is a God that doesn't break his promise.
Right.
Now, if he didn't do that, they would have to look at it like, well, this God be breaking his promise because he ain't set them up on high because it says that's what's supposed to happen.
Right.
So it gotta play out like that. Y'all wouldn't want to be with a God that just breaks his word, but then that means y'all wouldn't get shit.
Right.
So it has to come through these people in order for y'all to get it. So when y'all come up talking about, y'all, man, y'all ain't no fucking Jews. Y'all black. How is that possible?
Right.
You're not understanding that it gotta be like that, because if it's not, you're not gonna get it. Because it gotta go through those people who said it was gonna go to those people, and with a promise gonna go to these people, that then it'll come to you.
And that's the snare unto the Christians, man.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, the Lord promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob a special inheritance above all nations.
Right.
above all nations. When they come out here and say they're going to be saved from sin, that promise was given to Israel. Everlasting salvation, a world without end. That was given specifically to a man and his descendants, man. You can't come back and, because what you're doing is basically saying that the Lord doesn't have any integrity,
right?
That the Lord makes mistakes.
Yeah,
he gave this nation a blessing and then decided in the middle of the game that he's just gonna switch up the whole game plan.
Audible, yeah.
Even though he said that he would never forsake us, man. He said he would never forsake the covenant that he gave us, man.
That's right after the new. That's right after the new covenant. Right, Jeremiah 31:31. Once you read to like 35, it tells you that as long as the sun here and the moon here, I'm not gonna do away with Israel.
Right. Because he made an oath, man. He made a promise, and that nation hasn't received that promise in full. That's why Isaiah said we only had possessed the kingdom for a little while. We only had 40 years of peace, and King David had to slaughter hella Philistines just for us to get that little 40 years, man. That's why the Lord gonna have to establish us in righteousness by putting the laws in our inward parts, man. That we may obtain the kingdom forevermore. And through our nation, all nations are gonna be blessed. Because they're not blessed now. They think they're blessed because folly is set in great dignity. So they have liberty to destroy themselves. And they think that that's an illusion of greatness. Like now they have something special. Really, they only have the freedom to destroy themselves. But when Yahshua in authority, they're gonna know true wisdom, man.
Right.
The heathens gonna live longer. They're gonna spend more time with their families. They're gonna actually own stuff. They're gonna actually own the land that they live on.
Right.
But folly is set in great dignity. That's why this nation and all these, like, the world today is an example of the wine that they take in. And Ecclesiastes will tell you, as the ruler is, so is the people, man. So all of these are reflections, all these are baby Edomites, man. Low-level witches, man. Whether they know it or not, everything that they do is low-level witchcraft. And because of that, the earth is defiled, man. And that's why Yahshua has to be established, because righteousness has to reign on the earth. Because the Lord said that he made the world that it should be inhabited, man. Meaning really truly live, not just exist on this planet. And that goes for the heathens too, to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, when Christians come in with that, the Lord cast away his people because y'all was off, you saying that the Lord lied, man. You saying that the Lord who could see time, declare the end from the beginning, changed his mind. And then give nobody no notice, just kind of did it in the middle and said that he's not going to give the inheritance to Jacob no more, he's going to give it to everybody. And that you don't got to keep his law, even though Hebrews will tell you that the Lord found fault with us, not the law, man.
I got a precept, man. Numbers 23:19. God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he shall repent. Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Behold, I have received commandment to bless, and he hath blessed, and I cannot reverse it.
And the Lord blessed Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. And he said that cursed be all of them that hate him, man. So anybody that hate Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the children of Israel, the Lord gonna put curses on them, just like we had to bear the curse for the iniquities of our forefathers, man. And that's fair judgment, man. That's why in Lamentations it say, I'm gonna bear the iniquity, I'm gonna bear this judgment because I sinned against my power, man. And I'm gonna wait until he plead my case. Because we did wrong, so fairly we got judged. And likewise, the other nations are going to get judged. You're not going to just be able to not suffer the curses of Yahshua and receive their blessings. The Lord ain't like that. You can't just get in the club and get in VIP and you ain't put it on the bottle. Our nation put it on the bottle by going through this baptism. Even the ones that's outside the body right now. We all going through the curses. We all drinking of the cup of the Lord's wrath. Likewise, the entire the heathens are gonna have to do it. Every nation that touch Israel, which is all the heathens, man, they're gonna have to drink of the cup. Everyone in their nation, man, just like everyone in our nation. The Lord told Jeremiah, "Thou even thyself shalt discontinue from the heritage that I gave thee, and serve enemies," man. serve gods of wood and stone. And Jeremiah was doing the right thing at that time, man. That show you that from the righteous of Yahawah to the wicked, we all had to drink of that cup. Because the Lord looks at us as one body, one nation of people, one judgment. That's why the Edomites are going to be taken out, because the Lord gave that judgment. That's the judgment that he gave. He made that nation a vessel of dishonor to contrast the vessel of honor. So this is the vessel of dishonor's rulership. And you're going to see it, and we're all witnesses unto the wickedness of this place. In the future, you're going to see the rulership of the vessel of honor. And you're going to appreciate it more than you ever did this.
Yep. So with that, say call halal Yahawah Shah.
Allah Yahweh Shah.
Shalom Akim. Yahawah Shah Barakatah.